Did you know you can manifest anything you want without ever manifesting? Let me explain. Manifestation is such a buzzword these days that its real meaning has gotten lost. Most people think of it as like spell casting or wish making or something that only astrology girls do when they want something. When in reality, that gym bro with the mustache who's never touched a crystal in his life is manifesting just as much as the girls on the Bali beach retreat. So, what does manifest actually mean? A manifestation is something that comes into physical form. So, this something can be literally anything, including an idea from your mind, a thought, an emotion, anything. Manifesting is most commonly referred to as consciously and intentionally co-creating something. But it isn't just sitting down and doing a ritual, though I do love a good ritual. I call those rituals that you see, or those manifesting methods that you see, manifestation magnifiers or moving energy. That's what I refer to them as. But when you hear someone say, I manifested today, that's typically what they're referring to, is they did some sort of method, some sort of ritual where they sat down, moved some energy around, or really focused intently on something for a limited amount of time. But literally everything, and I mean everything, is a manifestation. Now, I get it. I know this is the part where people can really start to just freak out because it is a lot to actually realize and accept how powerful you are. But really, now isn't the time to guilt or blame or shame yourself for creating this reality that maybe you don't really love that much or even want to believe that you've created. Now, remember that not everything in your reality, not everything in the world is something that you personally created. I want to be really clear about that because there are other beings, societies, and systems that are in place and that are outside of you. So take a deep breath if you thought that this was going to be another new age bypassing spiritual blame game. That's not what's happening here. That's not what I mean by this. You are where you are now, and you do have the power to determine where you go from here, from this point. And we're going to get into that, how you can manifest your intentions. First, I want to talk about what is an example of manifesting, because like I said, there are some things that you are consciously manifesting and there are other things that you are unconsciously manifesting. And those are the two forms of manifestation. And conscious manifesting is what we were talking about before and what most people are referring to when they say that they manifested something. It's that intentional goal setting. I want X, I align with X, and it comes into my reality. I manifested X. Yay, I did it. I manifested it. That is that conscious, intentional co-creation. But unconscious manifesting, that's what everyone is doing all the time. They're both happening. Usually, unconscious manifesting is happening without you knowing it, unless you've worked to cultivate a lot of self-awareness around that. And this can be beneficial, but also not so much, depending on what you have going on within your subconscious mind. An example of this would be self-sabotaging behaviors because of a subconscious fear of you stepping outside of your comfort zone. Because remember, the mind loves what is familiar. So anytime that you start moving towards change in your life, you will meet a little bit of that resistance. And that's just your mind trying to keep you safe, trying to protect you. Kind of a pain when you're trying to make these positive changes in your life, but your subconscious sees it as a threat. So we got to create that feeling of safety within yourself. Let's say you have a few sales calls booked tomorrow, right? That self-sabotage part of your mind is going to be like, no, it's fine. You can stay up and watch all those episodes on Netflix tonight. It's going to be okay. You can have a lot of coffee tomorrow. So you do it. So then you wake up, you're exhausted the next day. You don't end up closing any of those sales calls. You don't bring in any new clients. And so then you feel bad about yourself. That allows that cycle to repeat because then you got to soothe. Maybe you pick some ice cream and Oreos. And again, oh, yep, Netflix. Other examples of unconscious manifestations can be things like illnesses, injuries, or really just skewed perceptions of things that are happening that make you feel really bad inside. The list could just go on, but literally almost every single experience in your life is a manifestation of you perceiving the world through your filters. It's crazy, but it's really cool because you have the power to adjust those filters. And we're going to talk about that next, how to actually manifest your intentions. If you're liking this video so far, just make sure to stop for a quick second for me, please, and give it a like. It really helps this video to do well and other people like you and me to see this. So thank you. I appreciate it. So let's get into it. How do I manifest my intentions? The first step is to really be honest about what you want to experience. Try to let go of any shoulds, any expectations from any outside source. This isn't always easy because we are programmed by our surroundings from birth. Take a moment to get really quiet and really kind of tap in and ask yourself, what do you want to experience? And you probably know of something right now. You probably wouldn't be watching this if you didn't already have something in mind. But a really great way that you can tune in if you're still kind of not sure into something that you want to experience is to think of somebody who you maybe are a little bit jealous of and take some inspiration from them. Maybe you're thinking, I'm not jealous of anyone. I'm just not a jealous person. And that's great. But if you were, who would it be? Just pretend for a minute. If you were, who would it be? What about their life or their personality or really anything that they have that they experience is something that you want to experience? And once you know one or more things that you want to manifest, knowing that you can always change your mind at any time, you're not completely committed or attached to this, but okay, I got a few things that I would like to experience. I want to manifest these things. All you really need to do next is align with it, align with that desire. This is how we tap in to the laws of the universe and attract the life that we want, the life that was meant for us. We bring that into existence. How do I align with my desires? I teach my students the shift methodology. This is my own way of describing how to leverage the magic of the universe, leverage these laws that exist without really having to consciously think about it, because the laws are always at play with or without your knowledge and understanding of them. This methodology really focuses on the simple yet powerful things that are most important to know and shift. So here's a breakdown of the shift methodology. The S stands for self-concept. Self-concept is the way that you think about, evaluate, and perceive yourself. It's how you perceive your behaviors, your abilities, and your unique characteristics, therefore influencing what you expect out of your life and what manifests for you. Inside of my programs and containers, I guide my students through really defining their current self-concept and then defining what would be in alignment with the life that they desire to lead. You got to know who you're shifting into first. And that's what the self-concept work is for. The H stands for healing. In order to fully accept a new self-concept, one that assumes that your desires will manifest, you must heal at the deepest level of mind, your subconscious. This means processing negative emotions, working through and releasing traumas, and rewiring your subconscious beliefs. This creates the space for positive expectation. This is where that deep subconscious mind work comes in. The I stands for intuitive action. You must take action on your inspirations to manifest your desires. The more you trust yourself, ignore your inner critic, follow that inner guidance system, the easier it gets. And don't be afraid to take really marvelous, messy action, because any failures that you encounter along the way are really just feedback for you to really course correct and then refine your steps. This is also the part where you really tap into your connection to the divine, whatever the divine power is that you believe in, and allow that guidance to come in to take the right action. Not all of my students are familiar with how to do this initially, but once they start practicing, they realize that it becomes so much easier. And oftentimes that voice was always there. They just start listening to it. The F in shift stands for feelings. Because whenever we uncover what we truly desire, that actual end goal, we can easily uncover that emotional state, the feelings, the thoughts that we desire to experience. It isn't always all about the thing, the clients, the money, the house, the relationship. It's what those things will cultivate inside of us. So even before your desire physically manifests into your reality, we'll learn to find other ways to cultivate that inside of you now so that it becomes familiar. It becomes familiar to experience those feelings on a regular basis, to feel those things consistently so that your nervous system is regulated to these new emotional states, this new way of being, this new way of feeling. And the T in shift stands for trust. Trust yourself, trust your divine greater power that flows through you. Practice trusting and hold the faith, knowing that what you wish to experience is meant for you and is inevitable. You are always exactly where you need to be on your path, and you can't mess it up. If it isn't here yet, it just simply isn't the end. So pick something that you desire to experience, shift to align with it, and practice gratitude when it manifests for you. Every single time that a desire comes through, practice that gratitude. That is the way to co-create anything and everything you desire to experience in this lifetime. Yes, it's really that simple, but don't get it twisted, because simple is not synonymous with easy. If your goal is huge, your transformation likely will be too. And that path isn't always one that is short, quick, overnight success. Yet it's still worth the travel. If you've already been going up that hill alone, getting caught on these long switchbacks of doubt or self-sabotage, imposter syndrome, feeling not good enough, or you're still hanging out at that metaphorical rest stop, you're only going to stop there for just a second, maybe a couple of days, take a week off to rest, but you just can't seem to leave, and months have gone by, and you're just starting to feel behind and comparing yourself to everybody else in the same space as you. If that sounds like you, consider joining my 7-day workshop. Manifest That Shift is designed to guide you to align with your goals and make a clear plan of action from here. And if you want more support, more accountability, more clarity, more coaching, more mentorship, more advice that's personalized to you, then check out some of my other offerings down below. Make sure that you hit subscribe. Again, like it if you haven't already, share it with a friend, and get out there and start manifesting. It really can be easy for you.